Okay, so this is the first part in the series. In this video, I'm going to be creating a basic Git repository, and this will consist of a vendor name as well as a package name. Now, on Packagist, which is the most common platform for Composer packages to be distributed on, um, as you can see, many people have already created packages which normally start with the name of the author, which is commonly a username on GitHub, followed by the package name, which is normally the name of a project. So, in following that pattern, when creating a new Git repository on GitHub, I'm only using GitHub in this example because I have a premium account on this particular service. It still applies to any other service like Bitbucket, GitLab, or if you're creating a Git repository through the command line. So what you have to keep in mind is the vendor name is the person or organization responsible for the software that is being created, and the package name is basically the name of a project. So in this case, we would be naming the package based on the website. So in this tutorial series, I'll be basically creating um, the LWAP as the domain name. So I'll type that in the repository name, and I'm just going to use my GitHub username as the vendor name. So we don't have to worry about description for now because that can always be updated later. If you are creating this for, if you are using this to create a private website rather than publicly available source code, you would click private. But ultimately, since this repository in my case will be open source, I'm leaving it public. Um, Normally, it's a good idea to create a README when setting up a Git repository, as it just speeds up the process of being able to clone the repository itself. So, with all these options already filled out, now there's only two options left, which GitHub gives by default for speeding up the process of creating packages for specific programming languages or platforms. So with this being a Laravel package, which is all done through Composer, there is an option in the git ignore to ignore Composer specific files, which would basically be any files Composer generates that serve as a cache or do not contribute to the overall source code of the project. And the license in the drop down, these are all open source based licenses. So ultimately, if you've got a private project, you would pick none for these licenses and possibly upload your own license with an MD file format later on. But in my project, I normally use MIT license. So I'm just going to create that. And that is basically done. And in the next tutorial, I'm going to use the vendor name as well as the package name to create a compose.json and set up a basic Laravel package and pull through a basic hello world example. So that's it for now, and see you in the next part.